What would your life look like if you stopped waiting for the perfect moment? If you stopped hesitating, second-guessing, delaying? How many dreams have you buried, not because they were impossible, but because you didn't move? Not because you lacked the talent or the vision, but because you waited. You waited for the motivation. You waited for the right time. You waited until you felt ready. And in that waiting, momentum died. Opportunity passed, and the future you wanted slipped further out of reach. But here's the truth. The greatest threat to your goals is not failure, it's hesitation. It's the silence between your desire and your decision. That small moment when your instinct says go, but your doubt says wait. That's the moment that decides everything. That's where the battle is won or lost. And today, we draw the line. Because you were not born to sit still. You were not made to wait. You were built to act, to move, to create. And that part of you, the part that takes the first step, that pushes through fear, that makes no excuses, is still there. You just have to wake it up. So let me be clear. This is not a motivational speech. This is a command. It's time to force yourself to act. Not next week, not tomorrow, right now. Because the future you want is not waiting for you, it's running, and if you want to catch it, you're going to have to move. Let's get brutally honest. Most people don't fail because of lack of talent, intelligence, or even opportunity. They fail because they never start. They spend years circling the runway, building plans, tweaking ideas, visualizing success, but they never take off. They confuse preparation with progress. They wait for a feeling they call motivation. And when it doesn't come, they stay stuck, comfortable, paralyzed. Motivation is a liar. It's a trap dressed in inspiration. It tells you you'll move when the time is right, but the time is never right. Life doesn't wait for your feelings to align. Success doesn't show up only when you're excited and energized. It shows up when you do. And the cold truth is, motivation fades, emotion changes, but discipline, action, that's what rewires everything. You've been conditioned to believe you need to feel inspired before you act. But the truth is, action creates inspiration. Motion creates momentum. You don't wait until you're confident to take the leap. You leap, and the confidence follows. The people you admire, the ones who changed their lives, built empires, rewrote their story, they weren't fearless. They just moved anyway. They understood this truth. The pain of doing something uncomfortable is nothing compared to the regret of staying still. Regret is the heaviest weight you will ever carry, and it's built one skipped action at a time. One excuse, one delay, one maybe tomorrow stacked on top of the next. And if you let that pile grow, it will bury you. Hesitation is not just a delay, it's a decision. Every time you hesitate, even for a moment, your brain registers danger. Not physical danger, but social, emotional, psychological risk. Your subconscious mind kicks in and says, wait, what if I fail? What will they think? What if I'm not ready? These questions start to shape your identity. And before you even take the first step, you've already convinced yourself to quit. But here's the secret nobody told you. Hesitation is a habit. And like any habit, it can be broken. It starts with a shift in identity. You stop seeing yourself as the hesitant thinker and start seeing yourself as the disciplined doer. You rewire your brain by pairing thought with immediate action. Not tomorrow, not next week. Now, next time you feel fear, do the exact opposite of what your instinct says. Speak when you want to stay quiet. Move when you want to stay still. Commit when you want to wait. You have to train your nervous system that hesitation does not keep you safe. It keeps you stuck. The more you act in the face of uncertainty, the more your brain learns. This is who I am now. And from there, everything changes. Hesitation dies when decisiveness becomes your identity. You don't need perfect timing. You don't need more confidence. You don't need permission. You need movement. That's it. And the faster you act, the faster fear fades. Action is the cure. Forward is the answer. So ask yourself, what would my life look like if I replaced every moment of hesitation with bold, intentional action? You already know the answer. It would be unrecognizable, unstoppable, unapologetic. And that's the version of you we're here to unlock. Discipline is not punishment. It's not restriction. It's not the enemy of freedom. It is the creator of it. The people you admire, the legends whose names echo through time, they weren't driven by fleeting motivation. They were anchored by something deeper, relentless self-discipline. The kind that doesn't care how you feel today. The kind that shows up whether it's sunny or storming. The kind that acts not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. Most people believe they need motivation to move, but that's a lie. Motivation is a mood. Discipline is a mindset. Motivation whispers, maybe later. Discipline demands, now. Discipline is the quiet force behind every great transformation. It's what gets you out of bed at 5 a.m. It's what turns pain into purpose, repetition into mastery, struggle into strength. It's the difference between the man who dreams and the man who achieves. Now hear this, if you've failed in the past, it's not because you weren't talented enough. It's because you didn't follow through. You stopped when it got hard, when your feelings shifted, when the voices of doubt got loud. But the disciplined man, he keeps showing up, even when the fire is gone, even when no one is watching, because he knows every rep, every word, every step taken in silence becomes a roar in the future. Discipline is your edge. It's the one thing you can control, no matter your past, your pain, or your current position. You might not be the smartest, you might not be the fastest, but if you're the most consistent, you will win. Over time, discipline makes talent irrelevant. So if you want to kill fear, become more disciplined than your doubt. Outwork your hesitation. Let your actions speak so loudly that fear no longer gets a word in. You don't have to feel like it. You just have to do it, one action at a time, one commitment at a time. That's how you become unstoppable. And here's the truth no one talks about. Discipline feels hard at first, but over time it becomes your identity. And once something becomes your identity, it becomes effortless. You don't force yourself to act. It's who you are. And that is power. Let me ask you something. How long have you been waiting? Waiting for the right time, waiting for a sign, waiting for motivation to strike like lightning, for your schedule to clear, for your confidence to magically appear. You tell yourself, once I'm ready, I'll go all in. But the reality is brutal. The more you wait, the more fear tightens its grip around your potential. The truth is, there is no perfect moment. There never has been, and there never will be. The stars won't align. The conditions won't be perfect. You won't wake up one day magically fearless. Success doesn't come to those who wait. It comes to those who move. It's a hard truth to accept. But if you don't act, you'll rot in the waiting room of life, watching others pass you by. Not because they were smarter or more talented or better prepared, but because they acted while you hesitated. The people who win in life are not the ones who have it all figured out. They're the ones who have the courage to start messy. They take massive, imperfect action. They fail. They stumble. But they keep moving, and that movement builds momentum. That movement builds mastery. You don't become confident by waiting for it. You become confident by showing up. By doing the thing badly at first and doing it again and again until fear has no choice but to step aside. Because momentum doesn't come from clarity, it comes from action. You want to write a book? Start writing, even if it's garbage. You want to build a business? Start offering your service, even if no one listens. You want to get in shape? Get up and walk. Even if you're exhausted, start. Now, not later. Not when it feels convenient. You don't need the whole staircase, just the first step. Do you know why most people never achieve their goals? It's not because they lack talent. It's not because they don't have potential. It's because they wait too long. They overthink. They obsess over the perfect plan, the perfect moment, the perfect strategy, and they end up doing nothing at all. Perfection is a myth, and chasing it will paralyze you. It will chain you to mediocrity disguised as preparation. So stop waiting to feel ready. Stop telling yourself that you need to know more, that you need to be more, that you need one more book, one more course, one more mentor before you begin. You want to know the truth? Everything you need is already inside of you, but it will only be activated through action. Look at history's greatest achievers: Thomas Edison, Henry Ford, Oprah Winfrey, Elon Musk. Do you think they waited for certainty? Do you think they had all the answers before they began? They started with what they had. They made mistakes. They adjusted. They grew. But they were in motion. And that's what matters. Motion creates clarity. Action exposes the path. Every single step forward reveals the next step. It doesn't have to be clean. It doesn't have to be polished. It just has to be real. And here's what you need to burn into your mind. Your mind will lie to you. It will tell you you're not ready. It will tell you, what if you fail? It will scream, this isn't the right time. And you have to be strong enough to do it anyway. Because if you wait until the fear goes away, you'll wait forever. You must become the kind of person who takes action regardless of emotion, who shows up whether they feel like it or not, who moves especially when it's uncomfortable. That's the difference between the average and the extraordinary. The average man waits. The extraordinary man moves. And when you act consistently with intensity, even when it's messy, something incredible happens. You separate from the crowd. You rise. You create results, not someday, but today. Because what most people forget is this: action is the cure for fear. Fear thrives in stagnation. It festers in inaction. But the moment you move, it loses its grip. It shrinks. It fades, and you rise. So here's what I challenge you to do right now. Pick one thing you've been putting off, one thing you've been overthinking, and do it. Not tomorrow, not next week, right now. Make that phone call, start that workout, write that page, launch that offer, speak your truth, move. Even if your voice shakes, even if you're not ready, even if you're terrified. Because every great thing that has ever been created, like every business, every book, every breakthrough, started with imperfect, courageous action. The life you want is not waiting for you. It's waiting for you to act. So stop waiting. Stop hesitating. Stop making fear your decision maker. Take massive, imperfect action and do it like your future depends on it, because it does. It's not time. It's not money. It's not your job, your circumstances, or the people around you. It's not even the fear itself. It's the voice in your head, the quiet, persistent whisper that says you can't, that says you're not ready, that says, what if you fail? What if you look stupid? What if it all falls apart? That voice is not you. That voice is the shadow of your past, the echo of every rejection, every failure, every wound you've carried. It disguises itself as logic, as caution, even as self-protection. But in reality, it's fear. And if you don't learn how to shut it down, it will run your life. You must understand something powerful. The voice in your head is not your conscience. It's your conditioning. It's the sum of all the doubts you've collected from other people. Teachers who told you not to aim too high, friends who laughed when you dreamed big, family who meant well but warned you to be realistic. All of it, layer by layer, built a fortress of fear inside your mind. And now that fortress is what's keeping your greatness locked away. You think you're being careful. You think you're avoiding risk. But what you're really doing is obeying a lie. That voice says, play it safe. That voice says, wait until it's perfect. That voice says, you're not like them. And slowly, without realizing it, you live your entire life inside a cage that you didn't even build. You inherited it. You absorbed it, but now you must tear it down. Because the enemy isn't the outside world.